So everyone, my name is Rick Mills. I'm Executive Vice President at Dartmouth, and I am unbelievably happy to be here today welcoming all of you and the families that have joined us. This is an event that we have wanted to hold for 3 years, and we are finally able to pull this off and hold it together. And the team that put it together, thank you for all the work that went into it. I have a script that I promise I will follow, but I want to go off script first for a minute and say that in a past job, I worked at an institution that was working with the country of Dubai to try to help them build an academic medical center. And they were pretty convinced that if they put enough money in and built nice enough buildings, they would have a great academic medical center. And we kept trying to explain to them, no, what really makes a great academic place is the people. It's not the buildings, it's not the technology, it's the people. And it's the people from custodial staff to chemical stocking staff to the faculty to the students to the financial person that processes transactions to the human resources folks who plan events and help hire people. It is the people. And Dartmouth, more than anywhere I've ever seen, embodies a place where it is the people that make it special. And I was actually just interviewing a candidate and walking back here trying to explain what it was like at Dartmouth and what the collegiality and the kind of people that you got to work with was, and it's unlike anywhere I've ever been. So thanks to all of you for being those people, and today we get to recognize some of those people who are here, who have done so much. So now I'm going to go back on script. Thanks for joining us for the 4th Annual Lone Pine Excellence Awards. It is a thrill to be back together again in the new academic year and to host an event like this. Today, we're getting to recognize truly outstanding colleagues from across the college who have contributed to what makes Dartmouth such a remarkable community to live in and work in. It's called the Lone Pine Excellence Award because the Lone Pine symbolizes this special place where we work. It's on our hats, it's on our logos, we can see it everywhere we go. But somehow it's the people here who aren't, they stand alone and do their work, but they're part of a forest that we all enjoy and that we all thrive in. And somehow it enables this growth and creativity and innovation that is what we call Dartmouth. And each of you contributes to it, and thank you for the work that each of you do. So all of our award recipients have clearly gone above and beyond to make a positive difference on this campus. They've stood apart, they've made people notice them. On behalf of everyone at the college, thank you for what you do in every possible way. You are what the values of Dartmouth are, and you embody them and you demonstrate them to your colleagues, to your customers, to your students that you interact with. It really gets noticed and it really makes a difference, and it's part of what makes us us. And so thank you for that. Each of our honorees has gotten a monetary award, but I am sure you are much more excited about what awaits you in the gift bag. So we're going to be presenting you with a little something. That's what it actually says in the script. I'm not going to my script actually tells you what it is, but I think it will be more fun if you wait to find out when you get up here. So, Courtney, I'm skipping that part. These are small gifts, but they are given in the spirit of a truly big heart thanking you for what you've done. And we really, really do appreciate you with that. And I'm going to invite Phil Hanlon to come up and take over in perhaps a more responsible and academic way and offer further thanks. So with that, Phil, come on up.
Thank you, Rick. I don't know if in an academic way is a good thing or a bad thing, but it is a joy for me to be here today for this year's Lone Pine Excellence Awards. And to all of our 2021 awardees, congratulations. It is an absolute privilege to celebrate and honor you today. Gail is traveling, so she couldn't be with us in person, but she is certainly with us in spirit, because the establishment of these awards to recognize the extraordinary work of Dartmouth staff is an initiative that is especially near and dear to her heart. I'm delighted, I'm especially pleased that the Lone Pine Excellent Awards garnered 70 nominations this year. And that tells us a lot about just how much our award recipients are valued by those with whom they work, and about just how special they are to have risen to the top of such an impressive list. The breadth and depth of the testimonials provided in these nominations is heartwarming, frankly incredible. They come from supervisors and subordinates, from interdepartmental colleagues and department chairs, current students, as well as former students. Today's honorees exemplify the characteristics that we value the most: modeling respect for one another, working effectively across difference, demonstrating the value of teamwork and innovation. To me, these nominations speak volumes about the ability of our honorees to both support and to lead, two attributes that make them exceptional colleagues. I'm delighted that today's ceremony also gives us a chance to hear about the incredible work, gives each of us a chance to hear about the incredible work that's going on outside our own areas. Work that may not otherwise be known or that you would hear about, but that directly impacts our collective ability to succeed. But as much as today is a day to recognize our colleagues' achievements and contributions to our campus, it's also an opportunity for us in senior leadership to say thank you to all members of Dartmouth's exceptional staff for what you do to help Dartmouth, to help our students, our faculty, all of us, including Gail and me, be the very best that we can be. It's your heavy lifting that so often makes the ambitions of our community possible. I'd like to thank the Lone Pine Excellence Award Selection Committee for administering this program, and together with the Sheila Culbert Awards Committee for helping select this year's winners. So let's get at it. It is now my great pleasure to welcome my colleague, Dwayne Compton, Dean of the Geisel School of Medicine, to present our first two Lone Pine Excellence Awards. Dwayne?
Thank you so much, Phil, and we'll share. It's such a pleasure to be here today, and it is really my privilege to present these awards to two outstanding members of our staff at the Geisel School of Medicine. And frankly, I feel incredibly lucky to be able to work with these individuals. So for me, they contribute to our school in a way that makes my life and my job so much easier. So I'm so pleased to be here. The first award that I have the pleasure of presenting is for diversity and inclusion. And I am really thrilled to be able to make this award to my dear colleague, Amanda Bassett, who is our Director of Alumni Relations. Now, Amanda, I still remember she joined Geisel in 2019, just before the pandemic. And, we've had that whole experience together, but I still remember the day that we talked in my office. And I just recognized, ooh, this is the person that we need to work at our school. She brings an energy, she brings an authenticity to her work that is infectious for everyone that she works with. When you combine that with exceptional leadership skills and planning skills, it's just an amazing combination. We're honoring her today because she has led the establishment of the first chapter of the Black Alumni Group at Geisel. And this was an idea we talked about, and she's brought this to life in a way to create affinity groups amongst our alumni. And the reason this is so powerful is because for our students, as they grow and mature in the curriculum, they need these contexts, they need to have a network, they need to have support externally to the school to help them advance professionally. And to be honest, we were lacking that, and specifically for our students of color. And so creating these affinity groups has been incredibly powerful for our students and their success. And by reaching those students and connecting them with these affinity groups in the alumni body, we could create a pipeline where those students then automatically join that affinity group when they graduate. So It's just been incredible, the work that she's done, just from a numerical point of view, is that her work has created a 43% increase in our alumni volunteering efforts just last year alone. So it's been incredible, Amanda, and I'm just so pleased and honored to be able to present you this award for diversity and inclusion. So please join me on the stage. I also have the distinct privilege of having two awardees this year. So I will move to the second awardee, and this is one of two awards for the unsung hero amongst our staff. And today I'm really honored to recognize one of my outstanding colleagues, Mickey Yeager, who is the registrar at Geisel. That is... So I've known Mickey, we've worked together for, I don't know how many years, 20 years. She's been working in Geisel for almost 20 years in different ways. Where is she? There she is. We've been working together in different ways throughout all that time. And I can't tell you how organized, how thoughtful, how steadfast she is in approaching her work. And the title registrar doesn't capture the role, the incredible role that she plays in the organization. When we are working through changes in the curriculum, we have to have her presence there in order to understand how that impacts on our accreditation standards and our advancement for our students and the criteria. When we're working through components when students are succeeding wildly, how do we capture that appropriately on their letters that we send out for their residency applications? And that all those go through her office, and every word is reviewed by her office. And how do we best support our students when they're struggling and needing extra support? And how do we make sure they continue in the curriculum in an appropriate fashion? Again, all of that goes through the registrar's office. There are just so many ways in which she supports our students in our programs. It's a bit countless, and I think the thing that we all of us who work with her know so much that she's probably the most humble person in the entire organization, and she would certainly choose to deflect this honor to someone else if she had the opportunity. I'm very pleased to not give you that opportunity. And Mickey, I'm really honored to be able to give you this award as Unsung Hero. So please join me. So it's now my duty to turn over the podium to the next awardees, and it is my honor to introduce my colleague Josh Keniston, who's the Vice President of Campus Services and Institutional Projects for the next award announcement.
Thanks, Dwayne. So you had two, I get to honor four people. Not that this is a competition, but I'm really excited to be able to recognize these four individuals for our second Unsung Hero Award. The incredible team of Kimberly Baker-Farr, Edmund Cadeau Jr., John Carty, and Caroline Eastman from Campus Services in our Facility Operations group. This group was nominated by students and building occupants in the Fairchild complex. And I think it really speaks to the impact they have on the community that this complex came together to nominate them for being unsung heroes. Kim, Ed, John, and Caroline were praised as being a top-notch custodial crew, consistently going the extra mile in their day-to-day work. They have a combined 48 years of experience here at Dartmouth. So we know where to go when we need some tips on how to get things done around here. This dream team is quick to respond whenever needs arise. From enacting new cleaning procedures in the middle of a pandemic, to addressing security concerns, to moving furniture and taking on intensive projects to make the building sparkle like new. And that's quite a feat if you know that building, because it's one of our older ones. Not even a global pandemic could throw them off their game. They showed exceptional teamwork and diligence in responding to everything that got thrown at them, from changing protocols to installing new health and safety protocols within the building. What's more, and I think this is what really sets them apart, their warm presence was such a welcome source of comfort for those around them. They would go out of their way to check in on the few folks that maybe were in the building at the beginning, and really make sure that there was a welcome smile when anyone came into the building. The entire crew conducted themselves in that way, always greeting people, always a welcoming source for that building. So Ed, Kim, John, Caroline, we cannot thank you enough for your kindness, your dedication, your service to the community, even in the most of trying times. You are, without a doubt, unsung heroes to all of us, and your efforts do not go unnoticed. Although Kim could not be with us today, we celebrate her just the same. So I'd love to invite Caroline, Ed, and John, please come up and accept your rewards. And we'll make sure Kim gets her special prize that we apparently don't know what is in there. So I'd like to now turn it over to my colleague Ann Root Keith, who's the Chief Operating Officer for Advancement.
Thank you, Josh. As you know, there is an attribute that we at Dartmouth in particular hold special. It's an attribute we actively seek to instill in our students, and it's one that we talk about so often at this institution that we launched the most ambitious capital campaign in Dartmouth history around it. Of course, I'm speaking of leadership. And it's an honor to be presenting the Lone Pine Excellence Award for Leadership to my wonderful colleague of 15 years, James Barkley, Director of Advancement and Data Services. Wait a minute. And I get to say a few words about you as well, James, so thank you. We all recognize that one of the biggest tests of leadership is the ability to adapt to changing circumstances. James has set a high bar in that regard, adapting to every change and rising to every challenge over his 15-year career at Dartmouth, and especially during these last 2 years. I have often called James up for a consultation, for a question, for a concern, and he's one of the people that I think and have said, someday, James, when I'm reporting to you as Vice President for whatever. James's leadership lies in his, and I quote on this, his ability to keep his team focused on outcomes in a supportive environment, no matter the circumstance, and that came from his nomination. His thoughtfulness, his listening skills, and dedication to creating an upbeat, positive environment make it enjoyable for his colleagues to come to work. So much so that one of them paid him the ultimate compliment, calling him one of the best bosses he could have ever hoped for. As a proud Dartmouth alum himself, James demonstrates leadership in fostering connections across the Dartmouth community as well. From having served as his own class president to building career networks, he generously gives of his time to strengthen Dartmouth in every way that he can. James, you've answered the call to lead in so many ways, which is why I'm especially proud to present you with the Lone Pine Excellence Award for Leadership today. And please come on up and accept your gift. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our provost, David Coates, for the next award.
Thank you, Ann. It's great to be here today. It's amazing to listen to and hear about so many awesome people. I have the pleasure of presenting 2 awards this afternoon. The first is the Collaboration Award, and it goes to the incomparable Tim Duggan, Assistant Director of the Collis Center. As one colleague notes, Tim's work is rarely recognized because many people just assume lights and sounds and other tech just happen. In fact, Tim makes these great things happen. In overseeing all the technical aspects of Collis, Tim is the go-to person for everything from meeting room technology to supervising the Collis tech crew at special events and programs. As a master collaborator, Tim is always willing to lend a hand and step up whenever needed. Whether coordinating with campus constituents, outside vendors, funding boards, or the Collis tech crew, he is always the one initiating communication and frequently the glue holding a project together. His joy and skill are especially evident in his exceptional work with students, actively engaging their participation in the important steps of planning and managing events. He's best known for advising the student organization Friday Night Rock, which involves significant coordination among a variety of departments and student groups on campus. And because his collaborations with the HOP are legendary, in part because of his attention to detail and love of quality food and beverages. I think I can share that love. I know we can all appreciate that. Over his 29 years at Dartmouth, Tim has brought people together in a way that makes Dartmouth proud. And his reputation as an exceptional campus partner makes him especially deserving of this award today. So Tim, please come up and accept your award. I know where I'm going on Friday nights from now on. The second award I have the pleasure of presenting today is the Passion and Commitment Award, and it goes to Oleg Timoshenko, Technical Program Coordinator in ITC, Information Technology and Consulting. As part of the team of learning and technology specialists that support students and faculty in the Master of Healthcare Delivery Science program, Oleg is known for infectious enthusiasm and his roll-up-his-sleeves approach to anything that comes his way. And I might say, Dwayne, you used the word infectious before as well, and I'm not sure actually that's the word I want to hear from the head of the medical school, just saying. As it says in his nomination, there has never been an I can't or I don't know because Oleg makes it his goal to do or to find out. Motivated by a friendly, positive attitude and a genuine desire to learn and help others learn too, he'll get deeply involved until a problem is fixed or a mystery is solved. Throughout the pandemic and a departmental merger, Oleg enthusiastically and patiently helped numerous faculty, and patience is important with faculty, numerous faculty members transition to remote teaching. He collaborated on projects to help develop the MHCDS curriculum, and for important events, he spent long hours working to get the tech set up just right. This passion and commitment is what we celebrate in Oleg today. His coworkers and clients consider him to be among their most delightful colleagues, and for good reason. He not only brings good cheer, determination, and creativity to the task at hand, and I'm missing a page. Thank you. Sorry about that. Fortunately, we have backup systems, so hang on. I want to make sure This is impressive. Very nice. All right, I'll start this over. His coworkers and clients consider him to be among their most delightful colleagues, and for good reason. He not only brings good cheer, determination, and creativity to the task at hand, but his dedication and generosity as a teacher make working with him a joy. Oleg, on behalf of every colleague and client you've ever served, it is an honor and a privilege to recognize you in this way today. Please come up to accept your award. Now it is my pleasure to introduce my esteemed colleague, John Carey, Associate Dean of the Faculty for the Social Sciences.
Thank you, Dave. I can't promise anything like that kind of comic timing, but but I am honored to be here today to present the Innovation Award to an exceptional team of individuals at the Rockefeller Center for Public Policy at Dartmouth. Joanne Blaze, Bob Coates, Robin Fry, Laura Hemlock, Leslie Wagner-Old Ismail, Laura Mitchell, Hannah Atrasekis, and Lynn Spencer. While two of them are no longer at Dartmouth, we celebrate them just the same. This hardworking, creative team is being recognized for how quickly and effectively they came together to innovate under pressure. 5 of them had just begun working at Rocky when COVID disrupted all operations in 2000. Yet in just 13 working days, they managed to launch new and innovative remote versions of programs to replace in-person curricular and co-curricular offerings in service of students, faculty, staff, and the community. It was incredible. But despite the trial by fire, this team was unflappable. They worked with speakers and campus partners to manage intensive online training and logistics, and also completely redesigned sessions and programs to run virtually, winning excellent reviews from participants. Not only did they succeed in maintaining the integrity, rigor, and organization of Rocky's rich slate of programming, they developed an entirely new muscle that enables the center to pivot to any type of programming with ease today, and it's been important in the years since. On top of all that, every one of these individuals exemplifies the kind of empathy, humor, and compassion that are needed now more than ever by students and colleagues across the campus. So Joanne, Bob, Robin, Laura, Leslie, and Laura, we're so grateful for the innovation you've shown in tailoring initiatives towards student interests and needs, providing spaces where they feel safe to grow, and demonstrating genuine care and concern for their success and well-being. Please come up and receive your rewards. And now I'd like to welcome President Hanlon back to the podium to present our final award of the day, the Sheila Culbert Distinguished Employee Service Award.
All right, those were inspiring. Congratulations to all the award winners recognized so far. And we do have one more to go, and the honor is really all mine. This is the Sheila Culbert Distinguished Employee Service Award. It is our most long-standing staff recognition award. As you may know, the Sheila Culbert Award was established in 2008 by President Emeritus Jim Wright and his wife Susan in honor of a former Dartmouth employee. It recognizes a staff member who has made a difference to Dartmouth and to their colleagues, who demonstrates a commitment to the highest work ethic and exemplary work performance, who is both selfless and unwavering in dedication to the institution, and is relentless in the pursuit of excellence. This year's Sheila Culbert Award recipient, Richard Whitmore, exemplifies all of those attributes and more. Richard is Deputy Director of Athletics and is considered by his colleagues to be the glue that binds the athletics community together. And one thing I would say is that Gail and I, we go to a lot of athletic events, as many as we possibly can. And the sports change and the student athletes change, but one thing is always the same: Richard is always there. He has a hand in virtually every aspect of day-to-day athletics administration, and it's clear from his nomination that he has become an indispensable resource and role model to those around him. Always the first one in and the last one to leave, Richard holds himself to the highest standards with outstanding attention to detail and an unparalleled work ethic that inspires others to follow his lead. What's more, he never backs down from a challenge. Instead, he rolls up his sleeves, he asks how he can help, and thinks outside the box to arrive at workable solutions to the issues at hand while encouraging others to do the same. Indeed, his collaborative nature, resourcefulness, and dedication to keeping the athletics ship running smoothly, even in tumultuous times, are just a few of the many attributes that set Richard apart. Perhaps his colleague summed it up best in his nomination when she said, and I quote, "I have seen Richard step into myriad new responsibilities in the last 2 years as the athletics department weathered storms above and beyond the pandemic-related issues that arose. When staff feel overworked, they never are as positive or work as many long hours as Richard does, and I think that speaks volumes about his leadership style." For the past 13 years, Richard has approached his work with a can-do attitude and a commitment to excellence that makes Dartmouth proud. And he's done it while treating students and colleagues as family all the while. With so much spotlight in athletics being on our student athletes, it can be easy to overlook the work going on behind the scenes that enables them to shine. Not at Dartmouth and not today. On behalf of the entire Dartmouth community, it is my great pleasure to invite Richard into the spotlight now to accept the recognition he so richly deserves. Please join me in giving a rouse for this year's Sheila Culbert Distinguished Employee Service Award winner, Richard Whitmore. So once again, let me congratulate all of this year's award winners and outstanding nominees. And if you'd like to get your pictures taken, I'll meet you over by the banner in the back of the room, off that way. And to everyone in attendance, I encourage you to join me and our honorees for a reception right here in the ballroom right now. Thanks again for coming and celebrate your colleagues with us. Thank you.